Good morning, everybody. This is Dr.زلفى. A part of our course, Writing 2 course, is revision of the punctuation mark. What are the punctuation mark? Okay, full stop, question mark, exclamation mark, commas, colon, semicolon, quotation mark or inverted commas, capital letters. All of these are considered punctuation marks, and they are very important because they give meaning to what we write or what we say. I cannot write a paragraph without having a full stop at the end of a sentence. I have to separate a sentence from the other. How to separate them? By the full stop. When I ask a question, I have to add a question mark at the end of a question to show that this is a question. Also, although the form indicates a question, but also we have to use the question mark to discriminate it or distinguish it from other statements. To express exclamation, okay, when I am surprised at something or I admire something, in speech, I give the intonation. I say, really? She has got a full mark. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. She's not that intelligent. She's not very intelligent, but she got a full mark. I say, really? Has she got a full mark? She's not intelligent. So here I'm expressing my surprise, and it is clear in my intonation. But when I write, there's no intonation. The reader has to know that I am surprised by the exclamation mark. When I ask a question in speech, I say, are you ready? Are you ready? Would we go together to university? So, but in writing, there's no intonation to discriminate or distinguish a sentence or a statement from another. So we use the punctuation mark. Let's see the punctuation marks. The first one here is the capital letter. Capital letters are used at the beginning of a sentence. Each new sentence should start with a capital letter. Okay. And also the proper nouns, names. What are the proper nouns? Names of people, names of places, names of books, names of films or titles of films. Okay. Rivers, oceans, continents, all names, all of the names, anything which is a name should be a capital letter. Particularly, we say proper nouns. Do you know what do you mean by proper nouns? Do you know the expression in Arabic? So go and try to check it in Arabic, and it is explained here. You have to know it. Okay. Now, full stop. Why do we need a full stop? A full stop or full stops are needed to divide up sentences so that we know where to pause. Pause means stop. They are used when we have finished saying one thing or one sentence and we are going to start someone else or to begin another sentence. Now, look here at this paragraph. Let's punctuate this paragraph, or let's add a full stop where necessary. Seen, you see a name of a boy, you see it is capital letter because it is at the beginning of the sentence and because it is a proper noun. Seen was eating a large pizza. He was getting fed up with it. Full stop, another full stop. And he should be a capital letter. He decided to give the rest of it to the dog. The dog was happy. So you have to put the capital letters and the full stops where necessary. If you say seen is a capital letter, should be capital letter, is eating a large pizza. Okay. He, capital letter, was getting fed with it, full stop. He decided to give the rest to the dog, full stop. The dog, the capital T, the dog was happy, full stop. Commas. When do we use commas? Commas are put inside sentences. Now we say a full stop, it is put at the end of a sentence to separate sentences from each other. But a comma is used inside sentences to separate the parts of the same sentence from each other. And it is one sentence, but it is parts. So I separate the parts with commas. Now, for example, we say an introducer comma follows any element that comes in front of the first independent clause in a sentence. What do you mean that? What do you mean by that? Now, for example, when we explained the complex sentences, we said when you have the subordinator at the beginning, it means the subordinating clause is at the beginning of the sentence, we put a comma after it. But when we have it in the middle, which means the independent or the main clause at the beginning, we don't use the comma. So anything comes before the main clause is followed with a comma. For example, I say, although he is rich, he is stingy. بخيل. He is rich, he is stingy. So you see, so anything before the main clause is followed with a comma. As you see the examples here, therefore, I plan to quit smoking. Therefore, let's say, because look at this sentence, the third one. Because I have a chronic cough, my doctor recommended that I quit immediately. He has chronic cough for a long time and he does not cure. So the doctor told him to stop smoking. Okay. As a result, therefore, I plan to quit smoking. Nervously, I threw away my cigarettes. As a result, I feel terrible now. After 16 years of smoking, comma, it is not easy to quit. You see, we have always subordinate clauses. You see, because I have a chronic cough, it starts with a subordinating conjunction, because. So after it, we have a comma. My doctor recommended this is the main clause. My doctor recommended that I quit smoking immediately. Therefore, I plan, therefore, this is a conjunctive adverb. The subject is I, so anything before the subject, before the main sentence. Therefore, comma, I plan to quit smoking. Nervously, I threw away my cigarette. Nervously, it's an adverb, comma, and the main clause, I threw my cigarettes away. As a result, because I have thrown my cigarettes away, as a result, I feel terrible right now because after 16 years of smoking, it is not easy to quit, to stop. Having smoked for 16 years, comma, I find it difficult to quit or to stop. So everything before the subject, having smoked for 16 years, it's a phrase, no subject or verb, but it comes before the main subject and verb. I find it difficult to quit. Okay. Also, commas, we need commas to separate items in a list. When I go shopping, I buy sugar, meat, bread, and cheese. Between these items, sugar, meat, bread, I have commas. So a list of items, I separate them with commas. We also use commas to separate clauses in complex sentence. We have explained this point. Okay, however, again, we use it after subordinating clause. Although Samia is intelligent, okay, although is a subordinating clause, she failed the exam. Now, question marks. Of course, we use question marks at the end of questions. You know, this is very easy. Speech marks. You know what are speech marks? The inverted commas, a comma, the small commas, two commas after each other, the head of the comma is down. So we let the reader know when someone is speaking by putting speech marks around the spoken words. Yani, for example, someone says something and you want to repeat what he says, but you take the same words he says. I say, for example, I will be on TV someday. Announced Jimmy, here, Jimmy announced, Jimmy said. What did he say? You say the same words, you don't paraphrase his words. What did he say? Now, between the inverted commas, I say, I will be on TV someday. This is what Jimmy said, not my speech. Just you wait and see. Also, he says, just you wait and see. When you quote anything, you take the same words of someone. So for example, when say the messenger Muhammad says, obey Allah and the messenger and people in control. Okay, people who follow your affairs. Okay, so أطيعوا الله ورسوله وأولي الأمر منكم. So Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that. So what he said is quoted between two commas. Colon. What is a colon? You see, as you see here, it's two dots over each other. We use it to separate a title from a subtitle. What do you mean by that? Sometimes, for example, I say I have a title which is a title of a book which talks about internet. But also I want to let the reader know before, at the first look at the book, the cover of the book, that I'm not going to talk about all the topics related to internet. I want to talk about specific points. So I have the title, which is internet. What are you going to talk about? Advantages and disadvantages. So you say internet as the main title, two dots, colon, advantages and disadvantages. Okay, we also use the colon to describe situations. There are two, I say, for example, there are two alternatives to his approach, to this approach. What are the two alternatives? I want to explain the two alternatives. So I say, assemble the parts first. This is the first of one of the two, and then paint them or paint all parts at a factory. So these are the two alternatives. I explained the idea of having two alternatives. Before a definition, we also use it before a definition. Example, here is what XX means. Explanation, so you explain something. For example, when I say, here is the definition of grammar. This is an example. Here is the definition of grammar. Grammar, two dots. The rules of language. This is the definition. The rules of language. Full stop. Okay, so you separate the definition from the expression before it or the sentence before it. To create a list of items, sometimes you use the colon to make a list. For example, this recipe requires this recipe. You want to make a cake, for example, a cake has a recipe. You need so and so and so and so, and you mix and you add sugar and you so. This is called a recipe. This recipe requires what? Two dots. So you list the items: 3 eggs, for example, a piece of butter, and 2 cups of flour, some sugar. So you have the colon also. Colon also separates hours and minutes. We say 4:30, 9:30 a.m., and so on. After a salutation, after greeting, you say, for example, dear John, and you continue writing, dear John, and you write what you want to say to John. Okay. To express mathematical ratios, for example, I say 1/3, 1/3, 1 part of 3. It is written in this way. 2/5, okay, and so on. Semicolon, which is not 2 dots, it's a small comma with a dot over it. Semicolon is primarily used to combine, not to separate. A comma separates, but a semicolon combines two independent clauses that are related in a single sentence. For example, when you use the conjunctive adverbs, I say, for example, he was sick, however, he joined the exam. Here, I use a semicolon before however and a comma after however. Okay, so here I use it to join the two independent clauses. He was sick. He joined the exam. Two independent clauses, and I use the semicolon in between. The doctor saw the patient. So you see the example. The doctor saw the patient immediately. The slightest delay would have proven fatal. The doctor said the patient immediately. Why? You see, this semicolon gives me the result if he doesn't see him immediately. The doctor saw the patient immediately. I don't want to put a full stop. I don't want to say because the slightest delay would have proven fatal, would kill. And the doctor saw the patient immediately because the slightest delay would have proven fatal. The patient, if he does not see him immediately, he will die. Okay, but here I don't want to use because, I don't want to use any conjunctions. I have two independent sentences, so I join them with a semicolon, as you see here. I can use because, but I don't want to use because. I can put a full stop, but I don't want to use a full stop. I don't want to separate the sentences. I want to join them because they are related in meaning. Any delay would kill the patient. Before the conjunction adverbs, he's so wealthy. Nevertheless, he never helps any poors. Okay, again with two independent clauses. Okay. Exclamation marks. You see here how to write an exclamation mark, and I'm sure that you know it. We use the exclamation mark to express surprise. Oh, you already bought a new car? Oh, you already bought a new car. You are surprised that he bought a new car. Astonishment, wow, the captain is even bigger than I thought. Emphasizing a point. No, we don't want to go to the party. Now you emphasize something as if someone knows, but you want to emphasize. Another strong emotion. That news story made me so angry. Okay, to express emotions express strong emotions. So, quotation marks, as we said before, double quotation mark, this punctuation mark is used to highlight the quotation. Example, I wonder where the expression What's the expression? Money does not grow on trees comes from. And where? This is the expression. Money does not grow on trees. It's a proverb or expression or idiom. Money does not grow on trees. So I don't know where this expression come from. It's not my speech. It is heard everywhere. Money does not grow on trees. Someone said it once, and here I'm repeating it as it is. Okay, to show dialogue in literary works. Do I enter the room now? Whispered Simon. Here, whispered Simon means said Simon, generally after verbs of saying, say, said, announced, whispered, screamed. All of these are verbs of saying. After these verbs of saying, when I repeat the words someone said, I put them in inverted commas. To show titles of books, movies, essays, songs, headlines, etc. For example, The Art of Living, Macbeth, Shakespeare's play. Okay, so we use inverted commas also here. Thank you very much.